Hi there and welcome to my channel. This is Kate at the Journal Nest in Australia saying welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? How are you feeling? I hope you're well, and I'm trying to restrain my excitement because it's Kate Stitching to Stitch this afternoon, which is where we take little bits and pieces and we slow stitch together and we breathe. That's what my message to myself, because I need to breathe because I've been busy and I'm in my sanctuary now, my happy place. So I'm going to share with my friends, which is all of you who are watching, what I have in mind. I would like to make something to be treasured for the opening of that page. I have some ideas for playing with some fabric, maybe as a cover piece. And I also am very behind in my pouches for my journal. So this one, I'm way behind. So I need to really get to work and do that. So let's hope that we can get 3 things done. 3, 2, and 1, we're off. So I'm already tangled. At the sewing basket recently with my mum, I picked up some pieces of this beautiful crochet. It's rusty and dirty, but I think I'm hearing that I would like, look at those colours in there, to use that. And there was also this piece, I pulled it off earlier, that could somehow go in with the tonings. Now I know that's a bit bumpy, so I probably won't keep the paper there, but that's what I'm thinking of those colour tones and this idea. So my idea is that I can make a little pocket to sit there out of this crochet. And let's put these other things away. I need to make some decisions with you. I'll tidy up the desk at the same time. I could line the pocket which would be probably easier, but there's part of me that thinks that takes away from that. So I'm going to try, and I have threaded this up before because you don't need to see me struggling with the threading quite at this early stage of the video. That'll come later. I'm thinking I'm going to just stitch around, and I'm playing with this idea of making maybe a feature of this, and then that coming down over the top with that. Where do I put that button? Maybe there. So let's just start. This is slow stitching at its best because I'm going to slow down, and I'm just going to go in and out, or up and down, whichever you might like me saying. Just add some feedback about where my hands are, so I'm hoping you can see. Yeah, I'm hoping. If I slip off, that's just my L plates. So back to, many of you are sharing that you're crafting along with me, and that some haven't done much slow stitching for a while, or indeed haven't, and are thinking about taking it up. So one of the easiest things I realise about these treasure pouches is that they don't have to stand up to a lot of wear and tear, and that if you use crochet, the holes are already there, and it's easier than having to you don't even have to make the effort to pierce the fabric, which is also a lot of fun. just simply up and down. We're just putting the two bits together. And my plan is to go down this side and up there, and then fold this down with a little button. I don't think I've sewn a button on in public, so that'll be a first, because it's all about just making and learning and trying, and it feels so good to be free to do that. If you hear me go into long periods of silence, that's just my joy as I just look at each one of these stitches and think about the very, very fine crochet cotton that would have been used. And as I've shared previously, I pick up my threads secondhand wherever I see them, because again, that's just that's part of the story going on, isn't it? I've also had a lovely response to, I'm feeling I might do something prettier down there to make it a feature. Now by pretty, I mean something other than running or cancer. Nope. I haven't got much down here with me. Maybe this colour. Moment of panic because I haven't cut this. I'm just going to leave that needle there because I might change my mind and come back and do that one. And you watch how many tangles I'll get myself in. I'm just testing out that this is a sharp enough needle to do. Still want to find one of those lovely, I think they're wooden needle threaders rather than this green. That worries me, but hasn't jumped into my life yet. Okay, so I'm tempted to do double, but I won't. I'm thinking, could we try a little chain stitch around the front? Let's double that over there. Okay. Oh, see? Oh, no, that's right. I suddenly thought I'm sewing down the wrong, I'm sewing the envelope shut. Doesn't matter because it's come out anyway. That's going to go there. And I'm starting on the other side because for some reason I need to go from right to left. Double stitch. I've never done a chain stitch on crochet before, but that's why it's part of the journey. That was an ugly one with no round circle at the top, so let's just pretend that this is a new made up stitch that I intentionally did, and then we'll get right. Oh, that's even worse. Come on, Kate. Now I can't find the end. Okay, now we're going to be okay, and I'll come back and make a flower out of that in a minute. So just some bigger stitches in a contrasting colour. So still learning how to get the tension right so it's not too puffy. one's bigger than that one. So I was talking the other day about I do want to improve my sewing. At the moment, I'm very wonky, and I'm delighted with all your kindness and saying wonky is lovely and more interesting, because in a way I'm finding that it is forgiving, it looks rustic, it looks loved, and that will be part of my journey. You can see I'm slow as well. One day we'll look back and go, oh, that's when Kate was just getting going. Keep getting it caught on the edge there, and sorry if my fingers are in shadow, but not sure what I can do yet about that. Oh gosh, what happened to, oh, that's right, it's a tiny chain. It's a bit thick around the edges here. But I suppose this is all about doing things together for me and being inspired equally by you and all the magnificent YouTubers out there. I truly feel like this is an incredible community that I've stumbled into. And to have a reason to sit down and talk and share is wonderful. Oh goodness me, what have I done? There we are. So probably this could have been, now I was going to do some flowers because I love little daisies, but I'm just thinking if we put have to put our button here. I won't get carried away because it's actually, without me realizing it, it's outlined that bit there. Okay, so let's just finish the chain off. Oh my goodness. Surely. Okay, that's right. I knew 2 needles was going to be a dangerous proposition. So let's get rid of that one. And let's get rid of this one. I'll use this thread for one of the other projects. Okay. Now that's a very oopsie because I've split the thread there. But let's see, we've got a little tiny treasure pocket, and we're going to have a button, and then I think I'm going to crochet something that goes down around that. Or I could put that on there and then crochet up. I was just going to have it for decoration. Now I'm thinking I need to make it functional. So it's smiling at us, so let's just put it on, and then I'll work out later what I'm going to do. I should have knotted that, but I do that. over here, right, again. I've really been enjoying you sharing about all your different projects. Gee, you're a creative lot. All sorts of amazing things being made. Nope, that doesn't want to go in, so let's say that's that one done. Here. Oh, let's come out. And then I've got to fix that. I can't leave that like that. Rustic is sure the look this afternoon. Okay. Oh, do you ever do that? I just threaded the tiny bit of thread rather than the new long one. If I'd put the thread in the right place, see, it's almost like this thread needs to be split. I'm sure it does, but I'm not doing that because I should have bought some wool down. But as ever, it's a reminder that we make do. I don't like this at all here. So let's really unpick, but something has to be done there because that's nasty. There we are. That is much better. Not that I've done anything, but it's not jumping out quite the same as it was. Now let's go, of course, from the back. Get that out of the way. Julie. Okay. In fact, my fingers are telling me that I should have got the crochet hook out, to be honest. And I could have made this look a little different and a little better, but doesn't matter. Okay, now we're going to go around the top in running. I was nearly going to say I regret doing that change, but life is too short to have regrets, so we are just doing it as it is. Sort of gathering as it goes. There we are. That will feel better. I can even tuck that in there if I wanted to, which is a whole change of mind, but sometimes that's what happens. So we'll leave our options open on there. Finish that off. There's the end. There we go. Right. Oh, so you might even, in fact, look at that. I'll get the gathers right. I may even put it up like that and not fold this over. Okay, so that's piece one. Piece two is, and again, I haven't done this before. I'm going to hand stitch paper to some material as an idea for a cover, because this blue, well, I do like it. It's not naturally my sort of colour. So let's see if we can cut this, tear this about here. Okay. Yep. I can always adjust. I suppose I should have ironed it, but I don't like ironing. I can share that with you. Well, sometimes I do. Okay. Have I got thread? That's that one. That's that one. Oh, yes, that is the same one. I've got some white. Well, it's whitish ecru, I think that's called. I might start with this. No, I won't. I've got something already threaded. Oh, look at that. Let me put that away. My idea is, I don't know whether you can pin paper to material. I'm sure you must be able to, because that's what people with patterns do. But I don't want to make a big mark. And I will knot this. And I'm going to come up from the back. Who knows? Certainly harder to get through, but I'm not minding that already. 2 stitches in. I do love it when you write in and comment and say that you've got some new ideas, or you're inspired, or you want to go back to something that you used to do. That is joy for me. And I did look up altering books after I started talking about that I might accidentally make one of those, and there's such rich resources out on YouTube. It's incredible. So just enjoying learning and evolving. I suppose that's, I haven't talked about that for a while. I am really enjoying this, everyone. It feels so good, and I'm liking, ironically, my stitches are coming out sort of, no, well, of course I spoke too soon. I was going to say they're coming out a little bit more evenly. Nearly there. You don't want to see me spike myself with that pin. This is a fun part. It's got a lot of layers up here. Oh goodness. I just did a totally wonky one. Suddenly went up in the air because I was thinking very loudly in my head to myself. Anyway, it shows it's can't speak too soon. Okay. Love this number 9. And I do love that this particular bit of sewing pattern says centre front. That was totally random. But I do think that's a curiosity if it ends up on the cover of a journal. Oops. Nearly there. So what's the difference with this is that I've always said that I machine sew on paper, which I still think I'm staying true to. But the step that I've taken with you today is I am hand stitching the paper to the fabric. So it has gone wonky, but that's what happens when you don't pin. And I'll probably, yes, it's a little out of proportion now. So risky. But I just feel I have to try and rip that. Yeah, better. Yep. Okay, so little journal. We've got you a front pocket. May end up in the back. What did I put on the back? I do like them to be at the beginning. So have I got any treasures around me? A little card or something that or just round the corners. I do have my professional thing here. Tomorrow I am sharing out collated list of the favourite things that we like to use in our journals. And look at that as a good start. So no, I'm getting carried away. I will stop myself and put those two on top of each other. And let's now think about, how's that all going together? Quite nicely in terms of our colour story. Yeah. Now this, what am I trying to say? Okay, get it out. I'm doing this, what's the words? I'm really into recycling everything and using big pieces. So this is the first time I used a really big piece of white, but as you can see, it's pretty white. And now my work is to sort of see if we can soften that. I've also got, this is another piece of sewing basket from an earlier time. Look at this lace. It must have been, again, I don't know much about lace, but gee, I've started to collect it ever since I have started to see some of this. $2, and there were heaps and heaps of it. So that's there. And I'd like to put a piece on that, is what I'm trying to say. And I wouldn't mind, see the back is all patches still. I need to do something there. Okay, so let's have some fun together. We do that bit first. well, because you've seen that other crocheting material a little bit. So what if I'm just working out whether there's a front or a back on this. Oh, you didn't see that where I accidentally had an encounter with the needle. I'm hoping. Like to have daisy, pattern daisy. Oh, and how about we go around the side? Just a little bit to there. Okay, pins, tangle. Look at that for a wonky pin. So again, under here, I just started piecing little more square things than I normally use as my first layer. I'm just, goodness me, I want to use this colour. But maybe, I guess here it is. Okay, I've got plenty of that if I was just thinking if I ran out of it. I suppose the one good thing about this bright green thread art is that it doesn't get as easily buried as all my other things in the same colour. Okay, so here, double stitch it. I don't mind the ends showing out because, and see, this is, as I would call it, the bargain way, in and out of the holes that are already been put in there. Not worrying about the size or the evenness. I have been thinking about how you must organise your sewing and slow stitching supplies, because I seem, look at this already, the nest is empty, but when I sew at night I seem to again spread everywhere. Beauty about this stitch is you can sort of look up and around as you're doing it. So I'm just looking at this, that was an old embroidery in white. This is beautiful old stitching on the doily, and I'll definitely embellish them. In fact, I'm quite excited, but I haven't got any wool down here today, so that will have to wait. Okay, now we're on the finishing. So simple, so relaxing. Truly, I could do it all day. I'm sorry if my hands went out then. I was having too much fun. So there we are, that bit's done. Hopefully I'll finish it off just by that, pull it out. And then we've got that beautiful little piece that could echo that motif on the front. Actually, a little bit there and a little bit there. But I would like to use some of this inside here first. I'll just see how much time we have, because this is still very, very plain. Now, how do you separate these? Oh, just like that. Isn't that beautiful? So we're thinking so for me it's, and many of us I know, so it's not just about me, it's the layer upon layer and the texture. And by doing that and then coming over here, we're starting to make an interesting play. Might be harder to sew, but we can do anything together. Oops. Okay. Did I have anything on my needle left? I'll say, see, that's why. There's that little daisy. Look at those daisies there. Okay. This is still a bit of white that needs lots of work. So I was going to sew that on to save that thread, but I'll do that later. Let's get onto this big piece here. I'll thread up another needle. With a long bit. And I'm thinking about that as I was threading. And is that a waste of that edge? I'm thinking it is. And that really yeah, something like that might be better and also easier for me. And I love that bit too. So let's snip this just over here. And that can be something in the journal. I'll put it in there. Yep. So I'm going to start this end. I'll sort of do a double stitch because this will get some sort of wear and tear. And look at these beautiful little stitches in the lace. have been practicing a few of my stitches, and as well as doing a sampler, I'm going to really start to, I think, embellish pieces with a lot of the, I've got, am I an eclectic as well as a multi-project person? So I want to pick up a few different projects and do the same stitch on them, so I don't get bored of the actual project, and I can use the stitch in different ways. So because that way I get variety of on the project, but also practice is the word. Ahead of myself there on the turn. I'm deliberately going to let that edge be up. These are quite big stitches, but the interesting thing is because there are layers of stitching in the lace, they're just sort of blending in a little bit. So thinking of the threes, I'm just going through my head. We've done, this is the second bit on here. If I could do the crochet, then we've really got some way on this. There we are. Oh, that was a big one. Okay, because it's a big one, I'm going to make it into a flower. Go back in there and over there. And it will be hardly seen, but I will know it's there. In fact, I could, yes, I could, and I'm going to. Having so much fun with this, oh gosh, this going round and round stitch. It's obviously not its technical name. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I need 5. Let's go up and down. Or in and out, up and down, over and whatever it is. I think last night I made about 25 of these in wool on one of my, oh, in fact, I think I did some here. These are my bows, things I'm practicing at the moment. Yes, getting carried away. So that's what I'm trying to do here, but obviously it's not the same in cotton. But it just adds a little bit of texture and covers my mistake, as if I meant to do that really big stitch. Goodness, Kate. Oh, I know, got my needle backwards. I know Rachel turns her video off and then comes back when these bits are done. I'm not able, well, it's not that I'm not able, I just don't know how to join 2 bits of video together yet. And then I will spare you. So you can always just fast forward, which I imagine you're doing Okay, it's starting to look like a rosy sort of thing now. So up, under, and over. Let's have that be the end. Just finish it off. There's that. And then this is the final piece that we want to put on. I mean, there's many, many more pieces to be put on. I feel it's this side that it has to go. Got a crease there, but that will come out when I iron it. Also over it. That's right. It does have to close, Kate. See, sometimes it's just like a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah, so I'm going to invest because this will cover up a large area and that'll make it easier for put little things over the top. Like that. I wonder if we could do that both at the same time. I think we could. I'm hoping you've made progress if you're doing one of your crafting pieces alongside me. That's better that way, wasn't it? Yeah. So I will pin Daisy. I'm just going to hold that in place now. Come through from the back. And calmly a stitch. I think I'll just put this down first. Yep. And into here. A few textured, few layers there, but it feels so beautiful under my fingers. I can feel lace. I can feel this on the back. And what's going to go over the top? That one or this one? This one. So this time we're going to catch the, I'll do one more stitch. We're going to start catching the crocheting underneath now. I could have invisible stitched it, but as I said, the beauty of this crochet is that there are already so many lines and holes that the work is, well, this is almost invisible because that's tiny on the front and so giant on the inside. Around this way. So that's down flat, and here we go. This is Speedy Gonzalez now. I don't know, do my hands get in? They probably do the way. I'll try and do it this way. So as I said at the beginning, I usually do pouches to go with journals that I make, or sometimes they're just separate entities. Rachel said the other day, like, she keeps lots of her little bits and pieces in them, so she's surrounded by her treasures. And we can never have enough pouches and bags. I have realised that, as I said, this is a reflective journey for me. I've got time to think about me and be me, and I realise that all my life I have collected bags and pouches, not collected, you know, just loved buying them and couldn't stop. My husband is so patient with me, and now as I'm sewing away, he doesn't even ask if this is for anyone in particular. I'll just say I'm making a pouch. Okay, that's there. And because this is a bit bumpy, I thought I might make a feature of that and just do some sort of blankety stitch. Oops, I'll do one more stitch. This still has to be sewn down too. That's still a little raggy there. So let's now I'm going to try and make these look a little bit even, because then it looks like an extension of the crochet. Yep. Yep, that's feeling okay. There we are, nearly there. That was a big one. So try and adjust that a little bit. Doesn't matter. How many times do I say that in a video? Because I've been freed. I've been freed to just not worry. And that there is a certain, I was going to say charm, that's an old-fashioned word, isn't it? I won't say that. I just, when I look at these things, this style, I'm calling it naive, I suppose, and that's not official, that's just me not knowing, but it for me, it's not the individual stitch, it's the coming together of the effect, if you sort of get what I mean. And I think of generations and generations of people who have sat around and talked and shared together as they've been making, and it wasn't about the quality of their work, is probably my main message. It was about the communing in the community. Okay, I'm going to leave that pinned in there for next time. Okay, and we're going to go in backwards order. So we've added this crochet, we've added this beautiful lace, we have put on some daisies, we have put on daisies, that's quite like the sound of that. We've explored, this one needs a haircut, explored sew stitching some paper fabric that had been machined as a possible cover, and we've made, I love this, a little baby treasure pocket. So that's it for this afternoon. Thank you so much for being with me. I wish you blessings and all things good. Until I see you next time. Bye. This is Kate.